Hercules from Stories of Old Greece and Rome, public domain reading. When the 12 labors were ended, Hercules' term of service at the court of Eurystheus was over, and he was free to wander where he willed. He spent many years roaming through various lands and assisting other heroes, who, like himself, were in search of adventure. He took part in the battle between the Centaurs and the Lapithae. He joined in the Argonautic expedition. He organized the first siege of Troy. He braved the terrors of Hades to bring Alcestis back to her repentant husband. The expedition against Troy was one of revenge, for the false Laomedon had never paid the gold that he had promised for the release of his daughter Hesione from the sea monster. And Hercules now set out to punish the treacherous king. And so he sailed for Troy with 18 ships, and the city fell into his hands with but little resistance. Laomedon was killed, his son Priam placed on the throne of Troy, and Hesione given in marriage to Telamon, one of the Greeks who had accompanied Hercules. The hero's splendid career received a check, however, for in a quarrel he killed his friend, Iphitus, and the gods, angry at this unnecessary bloodshed, compelled him to go once more into bondage. And so for 3 years Hercules served Omphale. Omphale, the queen of Lydia, and during this time he lived very effeminately, wearing sometimes the dress of a woman and spinning wool with the handmaidens of Omphale. This was while the queen wore his lion's sciurn and wielded his renowned club. And when his years of servitude were over, he set out again on his wanderings. During one of his journeys he met the beautiful Deianeira, the daughter of Aeneas of Calydon and the sister of Meleager. They were both famous in the Caledonian hunt. Hercules immediately sought the maiden's hand in marriage, but she had another suitor, the river god, Achilles, who had already obtained her father's consent. Deianeira, however, much preferred her new lover Hercules and begged him to free her from the betrothal with Achilles. And so Hercules challenged the river god to a wrestling match, the conditions of the contest being that he who won should have the maiden in marriage. Achilles readily agreed to this way of settling their pretensions of his rival, for he had no doubt as to the result of the wrestling. The opponents were well matched as to strength, but the river god had one great advantage, for he could assume any form he pleased, and thus bewilder anyone who tried to grapple with him. Among his many changes he took the form of a serpent, but when Hercules grasped it by the neck and was about to strangle it, Achilles became a bull and rushed at the hero with lowered horns. Skillfully eluding this unexpected attack, Hercules seized the bull by one horn and held on so firmly that when the creature tried to wrench himself free, the horn broke. This decided the victory in favor of Hercules, and Achilles departed sullenly to his bed in the river. The broken horn was appropriated by Fortuna, the goddess of plenty, who filled it with her treasures and adopted it thenceforth as her symbol, calling it the cornucopia.